Let's talk about the lean startup, which is another agile model. The lean startup is very, very interesting, and it's something that's relatively new and something that you can really only do with technology. The lean startup is this sort of experimental way of building products. By experimental, I mean that literally. You're making experiments to see if your product can actually make money on the market. So what we do is we go through this idea of learn, build, measure. Take those measurements, we learn, build, etc. And we're trying to create a product as fast as possible and as minimum as possible to see if there's a market out there. So what we do is we make some sort of assumption. We make a hypothesis if you're into the scientific method. And we're trying to figure out if this hypothesis or assumption is true. So what we do is we build an experiment. We build a website, we build a service, and we see if people are interested in it. We then use that interest as a metric and we adjust based on that metrics. A very, very popular example of this is of the company Zappos. Zappos was basically founded in 1999, back when the internet was just beginning to start taking up some steam. A lot of online shopping still wasn't very popular back then. However, the founder went to a local mall trying to find some shoes, and he couldn't find the shoes that he wanted. And that was basically it. There was either he bought shoes at that mall or he didn't buy shoes. That's how it was back in the day. So he thought, hey, let's build a website that we can put in shoes from all over the place so that we can always find the pair of shoes that we want. So we went to the mall, grabbed a camera, took a bunch of pictures, and posted them all on the website. Now, instead of purchasing an inventory up front, what he did was he built the website. So he made the assumption that people would buy shoes online. He built the website, and then he was just measuring how many people would get sales. And instead of buying the inventory and building out the whole product, what it would do is if someone basically placed an order, he would look at the order, figure out what shoe they wanted, drive to the local mall, buy that shoe, put it in a box, and then send it to that person. So it was this very manual process. There was no inventory keeping. There was nothing except him being the entire business logic himself. It became very, very, very popular. He realized that he had something really large on his hands. His metric was confirmed that this was going to make a lot of money. And because of that, because of the interest, he was then open to investments. He was open to changing up his process and making it an actual website to make money. And it ended up being one of the most successful online businesses starting in the early 2000s. So through this process, this lean startup process, he was able to invest minimum risk to see if a proposition or a business idea was viable. And that's why it's very popular, because we can use this lean startup to do exactly that, is to figure out if our ideas are worthwhile and they'll make money. So that's the lean startup. There's basically nothing else with this one. The way that you build it is you would use another one like a Scrum style, or you would use some basically just coding and hack way of getting something started, and then you just measure it. And after you figure out that it's a go, so we have this idea of go and no go, meaning do we continue or do we stop? If it's a go, we develop the software using one of the other methods. If it's a no-go, well, we just stop the product there and hopefully come up with ideas later on. But lean startup, really interesting to learn.